Students, I'm going to read for you the lines from the poem. Now see the second stanza, how does it go? As you know that I'm discussing the second poem of Flamingo, which is a very long poem, but we'll discuss line by line, word by word, without which you cannot get good marks, you cannot score good marks. So let's start the second stanza. Let me read this for you. The line starts like, on sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, build flowery, troilus valley, open handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future is painted with a fog. Now let's describe these things, these lines, these words. Now, the first line I have already discussed with you. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, as we have seen that the lines written by Shakespeare have been written on the walls of the school, which is situated in a slum area. And I have also discussed that Shakespeare does talk about only good things of life, so these lines have nothing to do with the life of these children living in the slum area. Next thing, which is very, very important, is that cloudless at dawn. Shakespeare does talk about clear sky, cloudless sky. Dawn means the morning time before the sunrise is called DAWN, dawn. When you get up, you may see the clear sky, but in a slum area, when you get up, you cannot see the clear sky because the poor people living there, they burn coal, they burn paper, they burn dry leaves and dry woods to cook their meal. So the sky is not clearly visible, it is like confusing. It is like if there is a fog, there is a smog, so the sky is not clearly visible. But see, the people like Shakespeare says that cloudless sky, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, and Shakespeare does talk about the cities full of skyscrapers. Do you know the meaning of skyscraper? It does mean multi-story building. 30th floor, 50th floor, a building does have. So these buildings are called multi-story building or skyscrapers. All the cities, take examples of the metro cities or large cities, you may find stone structures, concrete structure here and there, large buildings here and there, all are there. But do you find any large building in a slum area? There are only huts from 1 to hundreds. You may find not a single concrete home, but all the huts made up of tarpaulin, made up of tins, made up of canvas, made up of plastic. And see, people like Shakespeare, they talk about skyscrapers. They talk about civilized dome. Dome means, the semicircular structure of a building is called dome. You may have seen a mosque or a temple having dome. DOME, dome. So the large cities are full of large buildings. But these people, these children of the slum area, they have nothing to do with the large constructions, the large buildings around the city, around the world. So it's meaningless, it's useless. Because for them, and in that classroom, there is a map, open handed map. Means a map of the shape of a calendar. You may have seen such map in your schools. This map shows almost all the prominent places around this world. If it's India political, you may find all the cities of India in India political map. If it's Physical map, you may find almost all the structure. If it's a map of England, you may find all the places of England, all the major places of England. But do you have found the slum area being shown in that map? Be it of England, be it of India, they do not show. The cartographer, the maker of the maps, they do not show the slum area, they do not show the area which are occupied by the poor or the slum inhabitants. They do not show these places in the map. That's why the line goes like, in that class there is an open handed map awarding the world its world, means highlighting the world which is already known, highlighting the places which are already known to each and every one. This is the meaning, awarding the world its world. So what should these children do with the large buildings, with the large cities, because their life is only in front of that window? And what is there in front of the window of that school, of that slum area? There is only fog, there is only confusion, there is only darkness, there is only night. Their world is painted with fog. Means their future is painted with fog. They don't have any clear cut vision, any reason, any outlook, any overview, any notion what to do. What to do? There is a question of 2 times of meal or 3 times of meal. There is not the question of getting education and attaining a good job and attaining success in life. For them, bread is more important than anything. Bread is more important than education for them. So they do think about the bread, not about the education. That's why you have seen paper swimming boys with red sides. You have also seen a tall girl with a bowed down head. You have seen such type of figures, such type of faces in this poem, in the very first stanza. And you have seen how these children are mocked on, how these children are made fun of by the people like Shakespeare all around the world. They do talk about the riches, they do talk about the buildings, they do talk about the ships, they do talk about the sun, but they do not talk about the poor condition of the poor living in the slum area. They have never dreamt of the opposite circumstances, the distressed condition of the poor living in the slum areas, because they see only the good things. They feel only the richness. They feel only the prosperity and pomp and show of life. They don't know that there are families in this world who sleep hungry stomach, who sleep without having meal, having lunch, having breakfast. And those who struggle day and night, but they do not get even a time of meal. So these are the things being discussed in the second stanza by Stephen Spender. So we need also to think that is this poem relevant to the Indian context or not? Do we find such situation only in England, only in the slum area of England, or do we find such situation in India as well? I told you that any piece of literature, be it poetry, be it drama, be it novel, be it a short story, be it an essay, all must have contains permanency, and that permanency is brought to them by universality. The feelings that it doesn't mean that an Indian or an Englishman is reading this poem. Everyone will feel as if it's the poem of his or her own country. It's the poem of his or her own people. The poet has talked about his or her own people. Such quality must be there in every poem, in every short story, in every drama, in every novel, in every essay. Then only it will be called of universal value. So Stephen Spender has painted the life of the slum area. Stephen Spender has painted the children living in the slum area and studying in that elementary school very clearly. And we have seen that how these children are differentiated with the children who belong to a rich family. These children are compared with rootless weeds. They are unwanted. They are discarded with the society which is called rich society or elite society. The so called rich society has discarded them as a farmer discarded rootless weeds. Thank you very much. In the next class, we'll discuss the rest of the poem. Thank you.